So you are in the middle. You are someplace after an ending, but before the new beginning has made itself known. And you've let yourself settle. You've let yourself start to grieve. Grieve maybe a part of you that is no longer. Maybe you're grieving a way of life that's ended. But you're giving yourself that time, and you're journaling and you're meditating and you're really trying to work through this transition. But because you are listening to this channel, you have heard me say over and over again that clarity does not happen from thinking and journaling and pondering. Clarity builds over time through the steps that you're taking. So you decide to take that first step. So you sign up for the thing. You say, no, thank you, when normally you'd say, yes, that's fine. You set a boundary and you hold it and you stick to it. You take the risk. And then, bam. Someone gets pissed off. Someone pitches a fit. Someone gets weird. Something goes wrong and it just doesn't work. So you're thinking, shit, what the hell am I doing? And anxiety builds and you start to question yourself more and you think, I knew he wouldn't understand. I knew that wouldn't work. This is just not worth it. And if that's you, I want you to just stop right there, because what this is transformation. And this is what transformation looks like. We romanticize transformation and we think, gosh, if we just get the courage to take that first step, everything will align and fall into place like a Hallmark movie and we'll live happily ever after. But that's not the way transitions work, and no one really talks about it. You finally get the courage to take that risky step and then it blows up in your face. Someone close to you is uncomfortable and they push back, or the voice in your head starts to take back over and you're too old, it's too late, who the hell do you think you are? And it's just suddenly like you questioning yourself all over again and you get into this loop of anxiety. But that's how transitions are. The first step isn't supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to get you moving, and that's it. And here's something that you may not have heard or you may not believe, but it is the truth. The real chaos, the real inner turmoil doesn't start before you take that step. It starts after you take that step and the next step, because you're shifting things, you're disrupting the norm, you're changing things. And people, especially those close to you, don't like that. They might not understand what you're doing. They are feeling the change when you are making the change, and they're trying to keep the status quo and keep you in the role or keep the environment that they're comfortable with safe. And it's not because they don't want you to be happy. It's that their world is shifting and they don't understand why. Or it could be because they are seeing you try to move and change and grow, which highlights them not. And it's uncomfortable. And here's what matters: the fact that you are taking the steps. You are taking the risk. Even if you don't go anywhere, even if nothing comes of it, taking that step is resilience in motion. So do it again and again. You make a decision and take a step and don't stop. And it is so easy to stop. It's like you're hitting yourself on the thumb with a hammer and you stop and it's instant relief. But again, I've said it so many times, this discomfort and the fear is not an indication that you're failing or that something's wrong. It means you're stretching yourself and you're growing. And another reason you stop, another reason I stop, is because you You think you're so alone. It feels so lonely. And no one understands me. It's different. My situation is different. I would, but this, or I would, but it's just impossible because of that. You know, I thought I was the exception, and no one understands. But what I have learned in the last few years, trudging my way through this, and I say this with all the compassion and love and understanding, is that, you know what? We are not that special. You are not that special. You are unique in your own way, but this scenario that we're dealing with, we're not special. Yes, your story matters. My story matters. Yes, your pain is real. My pain was and continues to be real. But we are not so uniquely broken that we cannot find our way through, no matter your situation. And I say that because I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and Evie Pampouras, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She was a special agent with the New York Police Department. Then she was a Secret Service agent, and she was talking about her experience on 9/11 in New York, where she was one of the many first responders that were racing into the trade towers and helping people escape, and just before the towers came down. And then she was part of the search and recovery effort. And she's talking about the resilience and what helped her get through that recovery she had to go through of the trauma and all that she had witnessed. And it was the fact that she kept telling herself, I'm not that special. I wasn't the only one. I'm not that special. It was a horrific special event, but I was not the only one. I was not alone. And that kept her centered. It kept her from becoming a victim of the event. And it helped her continue to grow and to not get mired in the self-pity or the I'm different and no one understands. And to realize that so many other people understood what she had gone through and understood the fear and understood the pain, that she was able to go through and live through it. She says, I did not survive. I don't like to use the word survive. I lived through it. I thrived through it, in spite of, or possibly because of, the experience. So I want you to think about how alone you feel and ask yourself, am I really that special? Because I know you're not alone. You're here. So I mentioned resilience earlier. And what is resilience? Well, what it's not is being fearless. What it's not is powering through something even when it hurts. Resilience is being afraid, knowing something is the right thing to do, being afraid, and then doing it anyway, even when you feel embarrassed, even when you feel nauseous. Even if people think you're crazy, even if the first time you do something, it flops, you do it again. That's resilience. You say, this is damn hard, and I'm doing it anyway. And here's the other side of that coin. Taking scary, responsible action that might tick somebody off isn't about blame. It's about taking agency for yourself. No one is going to save you. No one can act in your best interest the way you can for yourself. And that is freedom. No one can own your path, even the mess, except you. And when you take that agency back and you own your mess and you own the path, that's when the true transformation will start. That's when you'll feel the change start to happen. You don't need permission. You don't need a 5-year plan. You just need to say, I am doing this for me. No matter how messy it gets, I'm doing this for me. Okay, so you take your step and it blows up in your face. And now you feel like shit. You feel worse than when you started this process. Yes, I understand. I know. But that does not mean you should stop. It does not mean you're failing. It means you're in motion. It means you are shifting your world. It's going to be uncomfortable. It means you are in process of becoming. And clarity, it will evolve. Your confidence and resilience, it will grow. So make the decisions, take the steps, continue down the path of transformation. That's the process. And if you'd like company, if you'd like some structure, consider joining the Wayfinding program, the beta edition of Wayfinding. It's a 6-week program based on my work and what has helped me, helping women like me and you navigate this weird, messy middle. I could use your input as well, helping me craft and refine the program so it's as helpful and meaningful to women as it could possibly be. So if you're interested, we get started on April the 17th. There's a registration link here in the description. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments here or send me an email. Linnell@bold-women.com. And if you haven't, I hope you'll subscribe, like the video, and I'm really glad you're here. My name is Linnell. Thank you, and I will see you guys soon.